Which Genshin Impact character is the richest, for each element, in the lore? By richest, I am defining it as, on who possibly has the highest amount of mora, because they might have a really high-paying job, or they are just from a very rich family, or clan. I will be analyzing the characters, for each element, and the one who I think is the richest, will be the winner, and for fun, I will also try to guess, on who is the poorest, out of them all. Now let's begin, starting with the Anemo element. The characters we have are, Kazuha, Jean, Venti, Xiao, Seiyu, Sucrose, and the upcoming character Heijo. We don't have much information about him yet, so I'm not going to include him for now. For the richest character, I think the answer is pretty obvious, it's Jean. She's the acting Grandmaster of the Knights of Favonius, and is basically the leader of Mondstadt, well at least for now, until Varka comes back. I am not sure on how much mora, being the acting Grandmaster of a nation makes, but considering how hardworking and diligent Jean is with her work, I would have to assume she makes a lot of mora, because she handles everything. She is also from the Gunhilder clan, one of the most prominent and prestigious families in Mondstadt. Her parents also seem to have important jobs, as his father, Seamus Peg, is the Cardinal of Daybreak. One of the biggest reason on why she won out of the group is that none of the other Anemo characters seem to be exceptionally rich. Maybe Kazuha, because he was part of a clan, but he already left all of his family belongings to Sarah, and asked her to sell them, to help the poor. Now, for which character is the poorest out of the group, I think it's actually a tie between Xiao and Venti. I don't think it's Sucrose, Seiyu, and Kazuha, because they at least have jobs, although Seiyu might be underpaid, according to this Reddit post. I think the two are poorest, reasons being, Xiao doesn't make any mora, because he doesn't need them, and Venti does try to earn, but he makes the people of Mondstadt pay him with wine instead, and since I am only measuring their mora, I am not counting it, making the two characters basically broke. For the next element, it's the Geo element, that includes Noelle, Ningguang, Goro, Yunjin, Albedo, Ito, and Zhongli. For the richest character, I think it should be pretty obvious again, because she's not only the richest out of the group, but also everywhere else, it's Ningguang. It literally says in her character profile that her wealth is unsurpassed in all of Teyvat. She's a smart and ruthless businesswoman that is the sole aim of making mora. She has a very large amount of influence over Li Wei, and Ningguang has gained so much mora, where she can just easily build the Jade Chamber, a giant floating building, twice. It can be argued that Zhongli can make infinite mora when he was an Archon, or that maybe Albedo can make infinite mora using alchemy, but Zhongli lost his Gnosis, and there's no proof of Albedo actually being capable of that, so I still say Ningguang wins. For the poorest Geo character, it's between Ito and Zhongli, but I think Ito is the poorest, because he doesn't have an actual job and struggles with mora, as shown in the Irodori festival. I think Zhongli has a decent amount of mora, he just forgets his wallet. For the Hydro element, the characters we have are Ayato, Kokomi, Mona, Child, Barbara, and Xingqiu. I honestly think everyone in this group is pretty rich, well except Mona. For the richest character, it's a very close battle between Kokomi, Ayato, Child, and Xingqiu. At first I thought it was Child, because he owns the Northland Bank, and is seen casually giving big amounts of mora to Zhongli, but I realized the mora is not all his, and most of it is probably just Fatui funds. Ayato possibly, because he is the head of the Kamisato clan, a famous clan in Inazuma, and possibly even Kokomi, because she's the divine priestess of Watatsumi Island, but in the end, I think that Xingqiu is surprisingly the richest in the Hydro element. He is the son of a guild manager in the Feiyun Commerce Guild. The guild is an extremely powerful and famous trading guild in Liyue. The thing that really solidified my choice of Xingqiu is in the rebuilding of Jade Chamber Quest. The Feiyun Commerce Guild sold Sunset Vermilionite for 500 million mora, so imagine how many more expensive things the guild has previously sold in the past, so in the end, I think Xingqiu is the richest out of the group, and for the poorest character, the answer is obviously Mona. She even has an idle animation, where it shows her not having mora. In addition, She has even stated it before, saying astrologists need to rid themselves of material desires. For the Electro element, the characters are Miko, Raiden, Kei-Ching, Lisa, Razor, Fischl, Bido, and Sarah. For the richest character, this one is very hard to decide, because none of them stand out as being exceptionally rich, but after analyzing them more, I think Kei-Ching is the richest in the group. She is the daughter of an illustrious Liyue family, with a proud lineage, and she is also the Yuheng of the Liyue Cheesing. She also can easily buy many Rex Lapis figurines. Bido and Miko has a chance of actually being the one who's richest, because the amount of more they earn isn't confirmed in the lore, but I chose Kei-Ching over them, as she is the most diligent and hard-working at her job, similar to Jean. The character who's probably the poorest in the Electro element is another tie, this time between Razor and Raiden. Razor is an Archon, but doesn't need any Mora, as she normally just asks her servants to bring her anything she wants, although she would be rich if she claimed Inazuma's Mora. It is the same for Razor, as he also doesn't need any Mora, because he already has everything he wants in the forest. So they both have 0 Mora, tying for poorest. For the Cryo element, we have Yurla, Aloy, Ayaka, Chi-Chi, Shenhe, Gunyu, Rosaria, Kaya, Chongyun, and Diona. If we are including not playable characters, then the Cryo Archon will end up being the richest, but since I'm only including playable ones, I think Ayaka is the richest. She is the daughter of the Kamisato clan, and is usually the one representing it. She also works for the Yashiro Commission to help her brother. She can pay for foods, clothes, and other things pretty easily, although most people just give it to her for free. Kaya could potentially be richer than her, with his connections to Conria, but for the current moment, I think Ayaka is the richest, for the Cryo element, from the things we know on the lore. For the character that is the least amount of Mora, it's very hard to say, and things get very complicated, because I originally thought it was Shenhe, because she doesn't have a job, but how did she end up buying so much expensive food? So she probably had a decent amount. And then for Aloy, I don't think she also has a job, but she goes on adventures. Then I realized that Chi-Chi has a job, but probably doesn't get paid by Baizu. I think one of the three of them is the poorest, but I am really not sure on who, so I randomly just picked Aloy to be the poorest in that element. And finally, for the last element, the Pyro element, that is Hu Tao, Diluc, Toma, Yoimiya, Yanfei, Klee, Ember, Bennett, Xiangling, and Xin Yan. The richest character in this group is highly likely Diluc. He is from the Ragnavender clan, a noble family, and he is also the owner of the Dawn Winery, which is the leading wine industry in Mondstadt. His business is going very well, as almost everyone in Mondstadt drinks wine. He is also shown to do businesses with other nations, so other areas might also have one of his taverns. I definitely think he is the richest in the group. And the character, who I think is the poorest, is Klee. She doesn't have an actual job or responsibility that allows her to earn Mora, not like she currently needs them anyway. Other Pyro characters all have jobs, and most are actually very successful and decently rich, like Xin Yan, Hu Tao, Yanfei, and Xiangling. That is why I think Klee is the poorest for the Pyro element. That is the end of the video. Which of my picks do you agree or disagree with? Comment down below. I wonder on who would be the second richest person in all of the playable characters, with Ningguang being first, of course. Thank you all so much for watching. Subscribe and like if you ended up enjoying this video. Bye.